Salutations, traveler. How goes the day? Good to hear. Come in and sit down for a while. That is, if you're not about on some pressing business of your own. Should you like a drink of something against the heat of the day? Or something to eat, perhaps? I have here a small wooden platter of honeyed pastries brought me by the baker not half an hour ago. She apparently made more of them than she could sell before they dry out. So she brought the extras to distribute among the merchants here at the market. The horn stands full just here. Cold cherry and blackberry wine from the town vintner is the drink of the day. I can see by the look of your armor that you've had no harrowing adventures lately, or at least nothing which might undo the repairs I made to it. Really? Half a dozen bandits, all on your own? I see. So you were hired on as a guard for a traveling merchant going between towns. Was it that silversmith who passed through here a week or two gone? They were wise, then, to engage you as protection for the journey. You'll recall I told you of that band of marauding goblins in the forest. Oh, not the goblin bandits. Then these must be some new arrivals to the area. You should speak to the captain of the town guard about this. Oh, a moment, please. I nearly forgot about the coals I had firing for the hookah. Just a moment. Very nice. A mix of berries in the tobacco today. Something to go with the wine. Do feel free to smoke some if you have a mind. Now, tell me about these bandits. I will listen, but while I do, I'll be rearranging some of my wares. There were many folk in here this morning, picking through all the goods, but I've only just now gotten around to setting everything in order again. And you think the half dozen you fought off were the entire lot? No others skulking in the woods? That as well. And the silversmith paid you extra when you parted ways. You must have made a good impression on them. There seems to be some small object inside one of these pouches. Perhaps a customer left something in it while testing its volume against their possessions. I will... Oh, seven hells. That devil woman has done it to me again. See here, traveler. This tiny carved crystal figurine in the shape of a serpent. Well do I know this image, and images like it. I will tell you of this devil woman. She is one of the merchants I treat with from time to time, when my travels take me far to the west of here. An older woman, indeed, a most ancient and withered crone if the truth must be told. She must be hundreds of years old. In addition to being a merchant, she sells mostly fabrics and finished clothing, by the way, She is also a priestess in one of her region's snake-worshipping serpent cults. And for years now, she has delighted in sending her minions to harass and harry me in my travels. Whenever I settle down for a time in whatever market town I am in, I am sure and certain to eventually find one of these snake statues somewhere in my shop. I have found them in my wares, as you have seen today, but I have also found them in my spare clothing, in my food locker, in the bottom of my drinking horn, inside my hookah, in my blankets and bedclothes, and a few times I have even found them hidden in the folds of my shop tent itself. It would be vexing and annoying if it weren't so absurdly funny. In a sort of mildly vexing fashion, I shall get even with her one day, never fear. That is a good question, traveler. I have seen many a strange and singular person selling strange and singular wares in my time as a merchant. I would be hard-pressed to pick out a specific one who could bear the title of the strangest, in terms of themselves or their wares. Let me think on that for a moment. Probably the absolute strangest merchant I've ever seen would be a fellow selling insurances. Yes, some sort of system whereby he would pay for the replacement of damaged or stolen goods and property in exchange for a regularly paid fee for his services. He seemed a rather shifty fellow. He would even use the ploy of offering a glass of wine to any who would sit down at his booth and hear his sales pitch. It was almost surreal to listen to. His booth was just across from mine, you see. And all day long, I kept hearing him try to sell insurances to people who rarely had anything worth the trouble of insuring. Now, aside from that, I have seen some rather strange merchants and wares from time to time. The leather worker next door once sold someone a gnarled old tree root wrapped in leather, I believe. I know of someone else who sold a smoked and dried fish on the end of a string. That always struck me as more than a little bizarre. In one market town, I saw a rather unhinged-looking fellow roving about with a giant burlap sack full of nothing but mismatched socks, and doing a moderately brisk business of selling them, too. Oh, and I also recall a story of a clothier who once sold someone the shirt off their own son's back. The things people will do for their business. Though I say it perhaps as shouldn't. In my years of merchanting, I've been known to sell the occasional oddity or oddment. I've sold strange sea creatures, bottled up in strong distilled spirits of wine, as alchemical specimens. I have sold rocks and stories, as a package deal, you understand. A plausible story associated with an interesting-looking rock. Between the two things, there is enough of an interest to result in a sale. Ah, a beaver skull attached to a leather hat. I made and sold one of those once. I made the hat mostly on a whim, but I have since found that some folk will buy the strangest things. Especially goblins. Depending on where one travels, one can meet a most eccentric variety of goblins.
Hear ye, hear ye. Stop what you're doing and attend.
And speaking of goblins...
The bestest and most rat-catchingest rat-catcher in the whole world.
I think I hear one now.
That goblin herself is now coming this way. Stand and stare in wonder, ye people of the town. Bicker the goblin will now pass among you. Look upon me. and be amazed. I, Vicar the Ratcatcher, your grandchildren will hear this story and think themselves blessed. Hear ye, hear ye. Stop what you're doing and attend. The bestest and most. Oh, hey there, Dragon Merchant Man. What you doing?
Hello, Bicker. I'm doing quite well, thank you. I was just regaling my far-traveling friend here with stories of strange wares and merchants.
Hi there, traveler. Allow me to inform you that you are in the very presence of the most highly skilled rat catcher in this tent. Nay, this entire town, if not the whole region for hundreds of miles, maybe even more. Yes, rat catcher, I catch rats. Real sharp one you got here, Dragon. Where'd you find them?
They wandered in one day to get out of the sun. I've been playing host to them off and on ever since.
Huh? How's that? How many rats? You mean total? In my life or just in this town? Oh, just the town, thank gods. I don't think I can count that high. Well, let's see here. I've been here for a few months now, going down holes with a burlap sack and my trusty razor, climbing up inside attics and underneath floors, and even the Lord Mayor's privy closet every once in a while. And, I guess I've killed me somewhere along the lines of, 6,947 rats. Yeah! I got this huge barrel of turpentine out behind the butcher's shop, and every day I count up all the rat tails I've lopped off, and then I toss them in with the rest. Got me quite the collection, actually. Oh, I ain't gonna take him with me when I move on. Whenever that happens. I'm just gonna leave the whole barrel here in town, as a monument to my own skill as a rat catcher. And, well, then I'll just start over again, and in whatever place I end up next.
Just how many towns have you purged of their rat infestation, Bicker?
Oh, a lot. Like at least a dozen. More than I can count without taking my boots off, at least.
And what made you choose this particular occupation?
Pretty much born to it. I'm the oldest of 25 goblets. That's a lot of mouths to feed. And the only thing around that breeds faster than goblins and bunnies is rats. So we ate a lot of rats growing up, and I just happen to be really good at catching the furry bastards. And, on that note, I gotta get back to rat catching. We're getting paid by the numbers, not by the hours. I come back later, Dragon, and maybe we drink and hang out? You, traveler type, touch my finger. Just do it. There. Now you can tell your descendants that you once actually touched the legendary Bicker the rat-catching goblin. Don't forget to light a candle on Kinklemas. I will go now. Attention, you people of the town. Bicker the rat-catching goblin will now resume her progress among you. Prepare to feast your eyes upon this prodigy of pestilence removal. No rat is too big, no crevice too small. Bicker the rat catchers on the job.
And that, my friend, is Bicker the Goblin, a most eccentric example of the goblins in this region. Though, in truth, she is one of the less bizarre goblins I've encountered in my travels. Let's just say I've seen things. I imagine that, should you be in the vicinity come evening, you might well hear some more of Bicker's, performative demonstrations. There may even be a narrative retelling of one of her rat hunts, and possibly singing. Before then, however, I would suggest you go and speak to the town guard about that incident you had with the bandits. I'm sure they'll be glad to learn of it. Very well. Until we cross paths again then, traveler.